Time now for First Alert Weather with meteorologist Rob Nucatola.
Lots of warm in the forecast heading into the upcoming weekend. I think we're going to have some decent breaks in that cloud cover, maybe more than we had in a lot of spots yesterday. A few local spots did get into the upper 80s yesterday, but not everybody did because of the clouds. I think today, fewer clouds, more breaks, more areas with those temperatures all the way through the top of the 80s, and I suspect overnight tonight, like last night, going to keep those temperatures way up in the 60s. Now, there are some clouds out there this morning. There is some low-level moisture out there this morning, so we're going to be looking for some fog. Haven't seen too much yet, but that doesn't mean we can't see that fog get thicker 6, 7, 8 o'clock this morning like we saw yesterday. I do see way up to the north that next little batch of showers and storms. That's where this next boundary is. That boundary is going to be important in our forecast by the time we get to Sunday, Monday, because if it can get all the way down here, then we start talking about some shower chances and some cooler and drier air that'll try to filter in on the other side. But we need that boundary to get all the way down here if we're going to bring in some cooler air. It's 65 degrees right now in Tallahassee, 64 in Thomasville, it's 67 in Valdosta. Like 55 or 56 would be a normal morning temperature at this point in April. So we're about 10 degrees warmer than normal this morning. We've got those dew point numbers way up in the 60s. So yeah, you can feel that when you step outside. And we're on the lookout for some of that fog this morning, especially since there's not much of a breeze. 67 in Mariana, Camilla's at 69 with Perry. Quincy, one of the cooler spots at 63. The coolest is Blakely, where it's 61. But most of us are mid-60s and up so far this morning. I don't expect there to be much of a breeze. Any breeze that we do have today is going to have more of a southwest or a west feel from it. And usually when we have west winds, especially in the warmer months, that's one of our directions that really helps to get those temperatures climbing because it limits whatever that sea breeze is able to do. Not that we have a big sea breeze in late April, but when you have that breeze from the west, it sort of limits some of that cooling that sometimes comes in from the coast. So I think our story today is going to be we get a slightly warmer breeze, we get slightly more sunshine, and we're going to get a whole bunch of warmer temperatures this afternoon. I'm seeing visibilities in Blakely and Bainbridge and Valdosta and Apalachicola all at 2 miles or below. So we've got some spots already with the fog. I think there's going to be more over the next couple of hours. This boundary is trying, but it's running into that big wall of high pressure that's anchored in the western Atlantic and the northern Gulf. Over the next couple of days, we'll see how much that high pressure to our south relaxes and fizzles out and what kind of progress this boundary can make. It feels like if we're going to get some showers from this boundary, it would happen later in the day on Sunday as it tries to move through the area. So we'll watch and we'll see how that all evolves. Sure, we could get a couple isolated sprinkles here and there, even this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon, but it feels like those chances are really going to be slim and few and far between. It's Sunday later in the day, maybe even lingering into Monday as that boundary comes through the air, that it provides the focus we need to get some of those showers. So if we're going to find some rain, the best chances later Sunday, early Monday. And then I think some cooler air tries to get here, but a lot of that is going to hinge on what that bubble of high pressure to our south does and what kind of progress that boundary makes. We'll have updates for you throughout the upcoming weekend. Sun and clouds mix it up on the Gulf with winds up to about 15 knots and seas up to about 3 feet, so not bad for the boaters at all. We'll shoot for 60s this morning, and I don't think anyone's really going to dip out of the 60s. This afternoon, I hope we all keep it in the 80s. I think the upper 80s are where most of us are going to go. Near the coast, a smidge cooler. Mid-60s again tonight with more patchy fog, partly cloudy skies throughout the day and still tonight. And here's that forecast that takes us not just through the weekend, but through the middle of next week. And notice how we go from those upper 80s and back to the upper 70s. That's where their temperatures are supposed to be. So some cooler, more seasonable air tries to get here by Monday, Tuesday. We got to see what that boundary can do on Sunday first. So we've got things we're keeping our eyes on right now. We're keeping our eyes on the thermometer because it's going to get toasty today and tomorrow.